Hi guys, it's Chelsea. I'm a couple days late because of weird scheduling things, but normally it's Miss Monday, but encroaching on Whitney's time a little, so sorry about that, Whitney, but this week is basically a free week, and what I'm wanting to talk about is how my lesbian identity basically relates to me being a trans woman. I like I mentioned earlier, I do identify as a lesbian, and it took me a while to get there, and it also has affected the other areas of my life in ways that make it complicated. And as far as backstory, when I first came out, I was more bi than anything else. I didn't know if I liked men, I didn't know if I liked women. So I kind of experimented around, but I mean, as I got more and more and more in tune with who I was, I started in 21. I was kind of flirting with the idea I might be a lesbian. I kind of flip-flopped between bi and lesbian like multiple times, enough to where it confused people. And then it got to a point like when I was 23, where I was like, I really prefer women, maybe the occasional fling of the man, but for the most part, woman, lesbian, good. And so after I experimented, I became more in tune with that. And bear in mind, what I'm going to be talking about doesn't speak for all trans lesbians. It's my personal opinion on how it relates to me. And what I've noticed as far as how it works with me is that I had to really get in tune with myself on not trying to conform to basically heteronormative society, where like you're a woman, you want to be with a man, you have to do that or you're not a real woman, which I don't subscribe to. My gender identity is female, but my sexuality, which is lesbian, has nothing to do with that, because I feel I'm a woman, so that's my gender identity, but I'm not attracted to men, just women. So it it's really separate. I mean, because your gender idea is how you feel, sexuality is who you want to bump uglies with. So it took me a while to get over that, and I've noticed that it has caused a little friction with me with other lesbian women, um, especially with cisgender lesbian women, basically women that are not transgender, where I've not been with some women. Like, I get the initial feelers, we talk a little, and I either offer a number or she would offer a number, and when she finds out I'm trans, usually, or yes, in my case, all of the time it's been, she would show initial interest, but as soon as she realizes I'm trans, it basically just blows out of the water, and I can kind of see where she would go with that, where I am pre-op, so I don't have my gender con confirmation surgery or my SRS, sexual reassignment surgery, and many of them, they do respect me as a woman. They have no problem seeing me as a woman. It's the part where my body itself kind of, in a way, can probably go in the realm of bisexuality for some people. That's becoming less and less and less of a taboo, but I've still noticed those times where what I'd usually get was, I think you're a sweet girl, but I don't think I can really be with your parts. It's a little too out of my comfort zone, but don't take it personally. Which I wouldn't take it personally, but I mean, it still affected me. I mean, I would sometimes be a little teary over it, and I would be really, really crushed and heartbroken. But when it comes to trans women, I've never really had that much of a mental block. Or it's, I mean, regardless of whether they had surgery or not surgery, or whether they even want the surgery. I mean, not everybody has to get that surgery because that's not depending on your gender identity, which, I mean, your body's your body. Your gender identity is what's up here. So, I mean, if you're not really have a need to get rid of that part, don't get rid of it. I mean, it's a kind of a slightly risky surgery, and why put yourself through all that hassle when you don't need it? I mean, I need it, but not everybody needs it. So, I I do relate with lesbian trans women a little better, lesbian and bisexual trans women. Um, Occasional fling with a straight trans woman, but I mean, it's more. It usually tends to be where it's just experimentation. They want to put feelers out, see if they're lesbian, but it's not something I've really felt connections at all. It's not as sweet and kind as when I'm with another lesbian. It's very connected. We get each other, and it's more awesome sex. I mean, it's some of the most connected sex, and I really enjoy it. I mean, I even enjoyed it when I had it with like straight trans women, but it's not as deep because I mean, at the end of the day, a straight woman and a lesbian woman bumping uglies, it doesn't mesh too well. And but I mean, that's where that ends. But I mean, as how far as like society feels about me being a lesbian is, I tend to get a lot of backlash in some way. I mean, through some friends I've lost over the years, and even family that occasionally questions me about it, is I hear it time and time and time again that if you're a lesbian, you like women, why did you transition? You could have easily got women easier as a man, which I can kind of see that, but I mean, I wouldn't feel very authentic, and I'm very, very, very keen on that. And if I had to live a lie, basically being a straight guy, even though mentally I'm a lesbian, I don't want a man's body. I mean, I don't even use anything that I was born with for what it was meant to be used as. So, I mean, I wouldn't have a fulfilled life, and I would have to eventually get the surgery just to feel fulfilled. And I mean, lesbian relations aren't always about penetrative sex, so you can't use that against me. And I I have to tell family time and time and time again that, and basically friends too, that I am a lesbian, I am attracted to women, but because I have that disconnect with my body and I need to eventually get my SRS just to not feel so afraid of my body, not to feel so scared of a part that doesn't feel a part of me. So I've had to fight it off so many times with people questioning it, and it really hurts. Like, they can understand I want to be a woman, but as soon as I have an attraction to women as another woman, they question it as in, well, if you want to be a woman, you should transition to be like with men. I'm like, not everybody's straight. So I mean, that's what I say, and I mean, I do also get attacked by, um, I guess more conservative lesbians, where like it's like an attack on women or whatever like that, and it's not an attack on women at all. I just want to be happy. I just want to be fulfilled. And the thing with being an adult is, even though we don't really talk about it that much, for many of us, I mean, unless you're asexual or anything like that, where you don't have a sex drive or any attraction, it's it's basically a main factor of many adults' lives. I mean, it's why you date. It's why you date. Why, in the case of a lot of heterosexuals, eventually leads to children. And I mean, our lives will revolve around it. If that's a part of my life that's not fulfilled, it's just not a full life for me. I won't be happy if I'm living a lie of being heterosexual. And I mean, it relates along with my surgery and stuff like that. If I was try to be heterosexual, try to be a straight man as a man with a woman, I I would feel so bad. I'd be depressed like I was when I was a teenager, and I wouldn't be very authentic to the relationship. I mean, I see it time and time and time again, where a trans woman who basically transitioned later, she tries to be a man, she tries to make herself more acceptable to society, or tries to blend in, or tries to make herself work with how people expect it. She gets married, she has children, and I have no problem with lesbian trans women having children with their partners and all that stuff. But I mean, I've noticed there'll be like an identification that they are attracted to women, they meet a woman that's attracted to a man. They get married and all that stuff. She transitions a little bit down the road, and it's broken marriages. It's separated children out. I mean, there are basically good stories. I mean, the parents can separate, and it can be very fulfilled, like parent-children relationship where both parents have the kids. It'd be just kind of like a divorce in a way, except it's not really malicious divorce. It's more of the other person in the party, like the woman in the party, if she's straight, of, this is not really what I signed up for. I signed up for a marriage with a man, but I'm not a lesbian. I have to separate, basically, for my sanity and your sanity. But I can't see myself going that route. It would break my heart if I had any children in a relationship of why I, I had like a really bad childhood, so I mean, having sort of a connected parent-child relationship is something I never had. And I don't want to put myself in a situation where I get married as a man with a woman, we get together, we have children, and she's not happy when I transition because she's not a lesbian. And she did fall in love with you, but I mean, if she can't make that transition like you, it's not going to work. She has to move on. And I can't do that to somebody. I can't break up a marriage that I caused or separate my family out and have my kids separated. I can't do that. That's one of the main drivers of why I transitioned when I did. I did not want to break up a marriage, a hypothetical marriage, just because I tried to blend in with society. And that's how I feel. I mean, I know might disagree with other trans women, but that's how I feel about it. And as far as much else that, I mean, I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a lesbian. And I mean, I don't go to pride events, what I'd like to, but I mean, I'm proud to be a trans woman, and I'm proud to be a lesbian. I'm proud to be gay, and there is no problem with being gay. So I mean, if you haven't transitioned yet, and you like women as a trans woman, don't be afraid. It's okay to transition and be a lesbian. And the same with the trans men. If you haven't transitioned yet, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about questioning or whatever, and you like men, don't be afraid. It's okay to be a gay man. Like, transition female to male and be a gay man. There's nothing wrong with it. You can be bi, you can be whatever. As long as you're living your own authentic life and basically you are doing what you love. You're loving who you're loving. You are going where you want in your life. Don't screw society. Do what you want. And I mean, that goes for everybody. It goes from like whether you're still in high school, middle school, college, whatever. If you feel you're a gender that isn't with your assigned gender when you're born, but you're attracted to people that will be the same sex as your targeted gender, don't be afraid of it. And if you're straight, like basically you're a trans girl that hasn't transitioned and you see a guy, don't be afraid. Find your Prince Charming, get married, adopt children, or do whatever, but if it's what you want, just go for it. And see you guys a little later. Sorry about the rambling, I'm a little tired, but Transgender Project, Chelsea, I'm out. Have a good one.